Hi.
Hi.
Nice to
Welcome
see you.
back. You too.
It's our fourth episode.
I know. That's wild. We're halfway through.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to notice the different seasons. Um,
Well, like,
it's quite cold here. Yeah.
is it? Okay. Yeah. We're having a bit of a little bit of a summer. It might be our summer. This happens in Ireland sometimes. We go, oh, remember April when we had that week? That was summertime. So you just gotta enjoy each day as it comes, you know?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But I like that you've got the color against the plain, and I've got the color and then the plain. It's so on
Well, here
brand.
you're never plain. Let's just say that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Um, so, mother, today's
Mother.
topic.
Yes.
Such a complex one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should we
So,
just have a listen before we have the chats?
yeah, I will just ask one question to the audience, just to mess with everyone's head.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about your relationship with your mother?
Ooh, it's only Monday evening. Come on.
Yeah, so let's go and listen. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen.
She's the moon and the water and mine. She's the mother and the daughter I try to be, levitating in the sky like a rock. She smiles and I sing her my songs like a proud child. And on me she shines all her light, wrapped in love and embrace the entire night. I rise up to reach her, only hold her reflection, hoping for love, reaching for protection. Yet in the darkness she pulls, and I'm thrown to the waves, all to enlighten this one of her babes. And when the dawn comes and she cannot be seen, I feel in myself something so serene, like a cycle I can feel when it comes, and the light turning dark, the push and the pull of stillness to chaos to come, the mother and daughter, the moon and the water. levitating in the sky like a rock. She smiles and I sing her my songs like a proud child. And on me she shines all her glowing light, wrapped in love and embrace the entire night. I rise up to reach her, only hold her reflection, hoping for love, reaching for protection. Yet in the darkness she pulls, and I'm thrown to the waves, all to enlighten this one of her babes. So when the dawn comes and she cannot be seen, I feel in myself something so serene. Like a cycle I can feel when it comes, and the light turning dark, the push and the pull of stillness to chaos to come, the mother and daughter, the moon and the water.
Oh, it's so nice listening back to that, actually.
Yeah. That one feels very calming, but there are a few moments that again make this like unsettling feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very nice combination of those two, like balance.
Yeah.
Especially after creation and destruction, where
Yeah.
we finished really like with a punch there, and it does feel like big exhale when this one starts.
Yeah, for sure. I remember we talked about, I guess, in our first episode about how, you know, we're kind of inviting people on a journey, and at some parts it is maybe a little bit more extreme than people are used to. And I think this is like the moment of reprise, you know, where we get to like sit and just, okay, we've been through this process, like let's catch our breath now before we get going again.
Yeah.
And at the same time, within it, as you say, it has this kind of like balance as well. Yeah, I love the kind of, I suppose, the metaphor of moon and water for mother and daughter. And I feel like when I'm hearing the lyrics, there's very kind of clear parts where we're talking, where it's metaphorical, and clearer parts where it's about a mother-daughter relationship, or it's literally about the influence that the moon has on the water and the tides.
Yeah, I would like to hear a bit more about the lyrics. This one does feel that it's just, this one really was born from a flow.
Yeah.
Music just like poured out, and I feel lyrics were also like very fast. Were very
Yeah.
fast. And then we tweaked it a little bit, but the first draft it
Mm-hmm.
really came out. And if I remember correctly, I think I came like the next day we were doing other songs, and then during the night I put these chords, and in the morning then you already started doing the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, what was your thought process behind it? And
Yeah. I think because there's a lot of reference to moon and cycles and water. I think we've mentioned water in nearly every episode now. I think that was already just there as a potential, you know, and we had been sharing lots of stories as well, and we were talking about the various, obviously, the narratives around women being a very core part in the whole project, and who are the most significant women in our lives. It's our mothers, right? Or our grandmothers. And so I think we were just having like a lot of conversations about these different relationships, these different narratives, and then the awareness of nature and the cycles, and it just became this kind of like amalgam of all of these different things that we were thinking about. But I do remember we were talking about like there's one of the lyrics there. Um, I rise up to reach her, only hold her reflection, hoping for love, reaching for protection. And I think it's a very literal expression, I suppose, of like the water being carried, being pulled toward the moon, you know, as it does when the tide goes out and the water's being kind of risen. But then also the idea of like a child kind of looking up to their mother, and you know, just she's God, you know, like your parents are your gods, I think, when you're growing up, and just this idea of this big figure, and you try to make yourself big enough to or be seen enough, or you know, reaching out to her for all these various needs. So yeah, I think there's a lot of that kind of meaning just kind of like interspersed throughout it, you know. I don't really know, like I don't think I can recall one specific thread, you know, when I was writing those lyrics, but I do remember, and I'm remembering this making me kind of like just get excited about, because I remember the first time we met and we were working on the music was part of this artist residency where I got to go to Ljubljana. And I got to stay in this 2-bed apartment, which was gorgeous, upstairs in like would you call it like a cultural center?
Yeah.
Yeah, cultural center in Ljubljana. And we had the use of like a studio, like a dance studio as well next door, but it had like small speakers that we were able to use and set up all of our gear and stuff. But I do remember you coming in that morning and being like, oh, I have these chords, and listening to them. And I was like, oh, wow, like, so cool. There was a bit of a jazzy kind of vibe about it as well. I thought anyway. And
Jazz? What's that?
yeah,
You
I
put
know.
that on bread?
You put that on bread? I don't know anymore. But then I remember there was like this little kind of day bed in the apartment, which was kind of like a sofa, and I used to just sit there and write sometimes. And I remember sitting there on that bed with my notebook and just like writing those lyrics. And it was freezing cold. I remember it snowed, like more snow than I had seen in years. That was crazy.
Yeah, last 2 weeks of January in Slovenia. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
Yeah, for me, what stands out, and it feels, although I know the lyrics and I know the song, but every time it kind of still surprises me a little bit when the whole story is about, as you said, like this reach out, needing your mother, needing this protection, wanting it. But then at the same time, the moment the moon goes away, it feels like you feel something so serene. And this relief that's here present at the same time with this, oh, I want it, I need it, I want to be close to that figure. But then when the figure is gone, oh, actually it's relief. And I think it's a very interesting dynamic that is still in a way taboo to talk about, because you're supposed to see your parents in a certain way, and parents are supposed to see their children in a certain way. And if you dare to talk about the complexity of the feelings, immediately it's rocking the boat a little bit. But it is a complex feeling, because child, as much as they want to be there and they need a primarily caregiver and they need it for survival, also they need this space to start understanding who they are as an individual, and starting to understand that they're not their mothers and they're not their parents, and the separation moment. And for me, that's that push and pull that's constantly there. Like, you want to be close, but if you're too close, you lose yourself. So who am I need to pull away to figure that
Yeah.
out. And then um,
Yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it too. Yeah, I don't know if I was thinking like more literally on those it's funny, isn't it? Because I feel like sometimes you're writing something and it has one meaning, and then it's only when it's finished that you go, oh, you know, I thought I was saying this thing, but actually this thing.
yeah.
I need to go back over it and listen with like the other ears, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, circling back to the question before we started listening, a question for everyone: how is your relationship with your mother? And I'm sure that there is not one person in the world who can say, "Oh, it's very simple."
Mm.
I think there, as it's normal that it is. Yeah, there are layers to it. There are complexities, and I would say it's not for nothing that if they say if you want to see if you're enlightened, go
Mm-hmm.
spend 1 week with your parents.
Okay.
Let's see if the enlightenment
Interesting.
stays.
Interesting.
Um, but yeah, I see this theme that, as you said, like we were writing, we were in the process, we were in the flow, and then after you see many things. Oh, we were mentioning this, and we were writing this, and then you see
Mm.
that throughout the songs there are certain topics repeating,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely, yeah, this duality and this push and pull is something that we have and that we had in the previous creation and destruction,
Mm-hmm.
that we had in Siren. Again, you feel alert and you
Mm-hmm.
resist. um, I see it as very similar dynamic, just through different contexts, like put in different contexts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, but also in music, like it's tonic and it's dominant,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
can't have just one or just the
Mm-hmm.
other. We need
Yeah.
constant change of those two, interchange
Yeah.
for things to go ahead.
Yeah. And each of them have their functions,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah. And like, yeah, like you say, one without the other just doesn't, we can only tolerate that for so long, before we need resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is potentially our first single release.
Yes. And probably May 1st.
May 1st. Yes.
Do you want to tell us why because it's more related to Celtic thing, do you want to tell us what is May 1st?
Well, we were thinking about what parts, what kind of, what important times there are, I suppose, in the calendar. And May 1st marks Baltana in Ireland. We went into a little bit of a religious tangent when we were kind of talking about what this date might specifically mean to us. And for me, like my religion, I think is nature. So it always comes back to um, what it signifies in nature. And I think for me, it's kind of the arrival of spring, like new beginnings,
Mm-hmm.
of shedding of things that aren't serving us anymore. Um, yeah. What does it mean to you?
So we also celebrate here May 1st. It it is multi-layered, as it got with time overwritten the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
it. So what is now the conventional meaning is that it's a celebration of working class.
Oh.
So May 1st and May 2nd, they're free from work and people go into the nature. Well, I would say not really celebrating nature, but more just like having meat on grill and making
Oh.
party.
Okay.
So
Okay.
everything is getting grilled on May 1st. But I would say this grill, the fire, is probably something that that stayed from previous meanings, because in Slovenia, some other countries also, the night before May 1st, it is common to make this big fire and
Mm.
community gathers around it. And I remember when we talked last year that also for Celts there was this fire and
Mm-hmm.
cleansing and jumping jumping over fire, maybe,
Yeah.
and also kind of putting the what's the word in English for cattle to
Mm-hmm.
jump over fire, so they will cleanse and be more fertile in the next season.
Fertile. Mm-hmm.
And now, unfortunately, we came to that they just stay on the fire and they get grilled
Oh,
before
yeah.
they were jumping over it. So yeah, I can't really say that at this moment geographically it does signify beginning of spring, as I do feel like it starts earlier in this region.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also those things are changing, and how it was some hundreds years ago, and we can't really know. But definitely it is to kind of say goodbye to the last winter spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and this cleansing moment for
Yeah.
the next season, which I think it's quite important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope that also our album, starting with Mother, that we're gonna release first, will help people who are on the way to cleansing, and maybe inspire and open some questions and help with self-reflections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the energy we also created it with.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I remember on the first performance, we got to perform it in the museum in Ljubljana, and there was a gentleman in, I think, the front row who was just like in tears during Mother. Like, for me, that's what it's all about, you know. It was like humbling to see somebody so moved by it, you know. And yeah, that came to mind because you're talking about cleansing, and I think, you know, tears and crying and releasing of all of these emotions is exactly that. So that was kind of a nice little reminder that it's somehow reaching people in the way that we had intended it to reach people, you know. Yeah. Not that we want everybody crying, but, you know, it's nice.
From happiness.
From happiness, yeah.
Yeah, crying is good. It's good for nervous system. It exists, so it helps regulate our nervous system. So it's also time that we accept crying and stop saying to people, "Oh, please don't cry." Yes, cry, because you're gonna have better regulated nervous system.
Yeah,
and that's better
trust
for
your body.
everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true. Well,
I feel we didn't go super deep. I would say for me personally also, it is still a topic that I'm much more comfortable to dive deep with through music than actually opening.
Sure. And that's okay too. That's all right too.
Yeah, but I'm curious also to hear if there are any questions, or if people have any thoughts about it, and maybe even if we continue that in chats more personal. If people want to share something that's not maybe for public eye, that's also fine.
Yeah, that would be great.
And yeah, get ready for May 1st. To see this, to hear this song.
Yes, and to see our gorgeous artwork, which we're very excited about. Maybe we can touch on that next week.
Who did the artwork?
My brother, Dominic McMahon. He did the artwork. He's amazing. So yeah, I'm very excited for us to share that soon too.
Yeah, me too. I really love it.
He did a great job. And next week we are talking about track number 5, which is...
Oh, it's a touchy subject. It's Wound.
Wound, yeah.
Wound. Am I pronouncing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, the wound, well, we will of course speak about it next time, but it traumatized us. It was true to its name.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, in the mixing process.
Yeah, true. That was a challenging one. That's true. Well, we'll delve in next week.
Yes.
But thanks again to everybody who's here and who's been joining
Thank you,
us and
everyone.
engaging in the chat and just being generally very supportive and excited about the music. It's lovely to hear. It's lovely to chat with you, and then it's great to continue these conversations separately as well. So thank you.
Yeah, have a lovely week, lovely weekend,
Yeah.
and see you next Thursday. Same time. Well, Thursday for
For
our
us.
meetings. I'm sorry. Monday for people on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
See you on Monday, same place, same time.
Yes. Okay. Take
Yeah,
care.
days are all getting blurred.
I think we all feel it. We all feel it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.